We're gonna start the meeting at 12:07, on the order. Okay, first thing, pledge of allegiance. Pledge of allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. With no roll call, Hector said he'll be here about 5 or 10 minutes late.
Roberto Santos, President. Hector Cortez, Carlos Gordillo, President. David Vasquez,
President.
Zeke Rodriguez,
Here.
Joel Benavides, President. Joshua Soto,
Present.
Jose Gonzalez,
President.
Elia Guevara.
Present.
We have a quorum.
Okay, perfect. All right, minutes were sent out yesterday. Anybody have to review real quick, but there's a motion on the table?
I'll motion.
David?
Second.
That's okay. All in favor? All right. Any opposition? All right, move forward. Minutes approved. Any citizens' comments?
No.
Okay, so no citizens' comments, so then we'll part of right along. All right, we're good meeting. Staff reports.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We move on to the passenger report, the first page with graphics on your package. We basically have a decrease on the passengers right now. Numbers are picking up for June and July. They're all the flights, I mean, it's a high season, so we expect to see that number to pick up a little bit. But we do expect, well, I expect a minor decrease from the employments from 2024, which at 150,000, that included the migrant number. So we don't have that. It was about 10,000 or so during that year. So 130, 135 should be a very good number for us on the employments. Moving along on the cargo, we also see that that decrease right now. The numbers are still not picking up from last year's and at the beginning of the year. If you see in October, November, and December from last year, the numbers really picked up, and January, well, everyone's on vacation and hangover from Christmas, so there's very little activity there. But picking up again in February, March, and then that's when the tariffs and everything started. So everyone's pretty much holding on everything, waiting till the dust settles. So the ramp right now is not as busy as it used to be, but I mean, we still have some movement. So hopefully we can get good numbers towards the end of the year. But as of it is right now, I mean, we're probably gonna see a decrease from 2024 numbers. On the FIS numbers, the numbers keep looking good compared to 2024. On the whole operations over there, people keep flying private because Josh keeps flying, so that's a good thing for people, for us, for the operations there. So in the respecting with the numbers, we should be around the same numbers as prior years if that trend continues on that end. On the fuel flow, well, obviously with the activity that we've been having and the current fuel prices, now we can start. On the current fuel flow fees, we see an increase compared to last year's on this month. Well, actually, it's just because of March numbers that increasingly high, but that's just basically the whole activity, people getting prepared for tariffs. So that number, that decrease on April and May, June and July, we still have the passengers, and we're keeping the same amount of frequencies daily for American and United, which is good, 5 and 3 respectively, and they fuel here, and so that should keep our numbers on not as good as last year, but somehow still comparable to last year. So on the money side, we'll probably be making a little bit less than the $1 million that we did last year's. But that's again, that's the whole activity going
On the revenue that you're showing here, your variance, that's what I don't wanna call it a loss, cause it's not a loss,
Yeah.
but that's not what, year over year, that's what
Yeah.
what was projected and what we're not seeing, correct?
Yeah, well, and here, I mean, I'm gonna make it on the next one. You probably, you need to see on the variance here, instead of having all these, months here that are not reported, it should be the comparison between the months that are actually here. So let's say, from May to May from those other years, so it's 700,000 and 698, but that's for the whole year. So that number is wrong, or that formula is wrong here, so we need to correct that. I apologize for that.
But just looking at the gallons, just looking at your gallons from last year to this year,
Yeah.
it's a 50% drop for April and May, almost.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes, and so obviously with less fuel sold, less money comes in, and plus the price of the gas is it's lower, I believe, so, right? Been getting that, so obviously we collect a percentage, but they feel that with less money, so that's.
Plus, you talked about earlier about the migrant flights not existing anymore, so that probably could have been a cause for that.
Well, the migrants were coming on the regular American and United,
Oh,
so they
okay.
were filling out of our planes here.
Okay.
So those
It wasn't migrant flights.
we had those too, but not as much right now.
Okay.
And right now they're flying out of Harlingen.
Okay.
I mean, we do get a couple of people that they're being deported, sent out. I saw a couple last week. And they're just putting them on the plane, and somebody's receiving them in Dallas, and then we're going.
Have you had any conversations with the airlines and as far as the impact?
Yes, well, obviously, American was one that brought it up. They had a little concern about it, because obviously they saw their numbers drop. But it was not as significant as other airports, because like I said, they've been cutting frequencies in other airports. We have kept our 5 frequencies, and I don't know for how long that's gonna be, to be honest with you. There's I wanna say that the 4 o'clock or maybe the 2 o'clock is not, they might consolidate it with one of those later flights, because it's not getting as full. But that's just, I mean, migrants is one point, right? But obviously the economy, the situation that we're going through right now, every single airport is seeing their numbers drop. So it's, I mean, we like I said, we have been able to keep our frequencies. Hopefully we can, I mean, throughout this year, but there's no guarantees. I mean, at the end, they'll just decide to pull one flight, and United also. United has 3, we usually have 2, even 2 overnight. So from United, so that's really good. Because, I mean, you pick off early in the mornings, and make all your connections. So those two are solid. Not sure about the later one, which doesn't let you connect to pretty much to the west coast. And that's it. We brought it up to United to maybe change the flight schedule on the last one to make sure there's more connections, and we were able to keep that third frequency. Sometimes we have four.
What about price drops?
We've been seeing a price drop, but we're still getting hammered compared to other San Antonio, McAllen.
Yeah.
So the pricing have been dropped, but not as much as the other airports from the surrounding areas. So yeah, I mean it's right now it's there are tough times in the aviation world everywhere, but obviously one of the first things that people will start cutting will be flying and meetings and all that. I mean, God bless Zoom for all that technology that I bring, but it's not helping the airports because people ain't flying for meetings anymore. They can connect now.
And what's that flight to Mexico City, is that going or not?
For Monterrey, right now they're flying at.
No, not Monterrey, I thought they were supposed to be adding a flight to Mexico City.
No, that was a connection with Viva. They just share codes now, so you can do all your transactions with Viva Aerobus and connect to all the network they have in Monterrey, which is it's pretty big in Monterrey. They have around, I want to say 36 routes in Monterrey that you can connect. What they've been trying right now is we're gonna try to move the flight schedule later on the day, because right now they feel like well you go in at 2 o'clock, so basically you are not able to finish your workday here, and you're not able to do any work there in Monterrey. So they're switching it to later on around 7, I believe so, or 9 at night, which you'll still be able to connect to Viva, but I mean you'll be able to accomplish work here in Laredo and then go sleep over there, work whatever you have to do, your meetings and everything, and come back at 9 the following day. So we're playing with the schedule. Hopefully we will get more good numbers there. I mean, right now the last week was really good. It was almost full the 5 days of the week. Right now it started with 2-3 passengers. Right now we're starting to pick up towards the end of the week. But I mean, it's out there. I mean, we're trying to support it as much as we can, because I think it's a good product and a good place to go, Monterrey. And I mean, with the connection with Viva, it's obviously a big plus for everyone. But it's been tough.
I know there's a big event next week in Mexico City with the Mexican brokers, so hopefully they can get those wings up. Are you gonna go?
I was scheduled to go, but not.
Well, we're back and going, so
You're going?
it's approved. I mean, the city's on a moratorium, and don't let me get to talk to that, because
That's
that's another topic.
Take back when it gets people in trouble.
Yeah, I know, we get people in trouble,
So he didn't.
and I'll talk.
Are you able to
That'd be it.
verify that connection with Aerus and Viva? What do you have to, any information, where is the city that get most connected to these?
Not yet. I mean, I know. I mean, they were having some issues with the website. It got fixed already. Yeah, because I know some people were asking me. Well, I mean, I'm not able to do anything on the Viva website, because Viva website is a little more friendlier than
Yes.
a lot more friendly than Aerus. I mean, you can actually do your American credit cards. I believe on the Aerus website you couldn't, and I mean there was some issues there. So now you can do everything through Viva, even just book Laredo Monterrey through Viva, which I mean will be a lot easier. But it took a while to get all the system going on, and but apparently right now it's ongoing, and we're running promotions free parking if you fly with Viva, and, you know, I mean, like I said, we're trying to help as much as we can because, well, I do believe it's a good product. But, hopefully we can get those, that data, more sooner than later
Yeah.
on that. So, moving along, on the delinquent report, I'll hand it over for Manuel.
Mr. Chairman, delinquent report over 90 days. We currently have about 129.28. It's currently FIS users. I did receive a notification yesterday that Adobe did process their $90 payment, so. And again, we're still collecting those fees, sending out emails, and whatever needs to be done to pick it up. Do you have any questions?
Whatever we do not collect in the following 30 days is gonna come out of the legal check. It's FIS fees, so just realize that, so it's in the best interest to collect the money.
Noted.
Next item will be the marketing report, so Manuel will also
So,
comment on that.
You guys have your packet, a very quick snapshot of our current actions on the marketing report in the website and maintenance. Our social media, you know, it's been development of 50 content graphic social media posts for May. 6 video production for social media. You know, they've been answering messages on Facebook, LinkedIn. And you know what Mr. Sanchez mentioned right now, the park and jet strategy, you're gonna see it at the very last pages, where one of our promotions right now is any passenger that uses Aerus through Viva connections or destinations gets free parking throughout their trip. And you know, as Mr. Sanchez mentioned, our Aerus and Viva Alliance, you know, trying to promote and advertise with our current advertising billboard campaigns with STX Media, Lamar, HR Media, and trying to push all our routes that are out there.
Also, we're getting a lot of traction right now on Facebook.
Oh yeah,
We just started a promotion of with the radio United Radio. So they're giving away $500, and they're gonna give away that $500 for travel. I mean, to be spent here at the airport on travel tickets, and it's gonna be for the next 3 months or so. This is the first month, so 2 more months of that. So I mean, I guess it went live yesterday,
Yeah,
and
started
of yesterday already 200 shares. I don't know how many nights, you know, all those things that the Crystal generation likes. I shouldn't say those things, but. Oh, sorry, I have no filters today. I'll do better next time. Next, we go on the foreign trade zone report. Unless any of you have any questions on the marketing or anything that we just talk. And yes, I'm talking to Mr. Cash particularly.
Not this month. you
Not
got
this
the-
month,
maybe
okay.
next month. Okay.
And we do appreciate all the comments and all the observations, because I mean, that's obviously just make us work better and do better on everything.
I did see RFP, I think, or for airport. Did y'all put out a new RFP?
There should be, how many we have? 1 or 2 right now?
I think the only one is the ERP for the insurance.
Right now, we have the insurance only, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought, because we're
Next is
gonna,
the parking
we're gonna do a couple more, that's the parking and,
in the future.
the marketing,
Yeah.
I mean, the advertising inside here, and another for development outside of on the cargo area. So we have a few lined up, but we just don't wanna throw everything out there right now and then go crazy at the end, evaluating all that stuff. But, yeah.
We'll modify this.
To keep it within a small timeframe.
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, moving on, we have the status of the construction for terminal rehab project.
How about STV?
Yeah, what about me?
Oh, yeah. STC, I'll hand it over to Dr. Chapler.
Thank you, Mr. Sanchez. Okay, first of all, thank you for the opportunity for being here, and I'd like to point out a couple of corrections on the, where it says 60 sites and 47 operators, July 8th, on July 9th, it's 62 sites and 49 operators. Another two were approved today. So that brings up, that comes up to a 32% growth from the day I started working here. And hopefully by the end of the year, we're probably gonna get over 60% or 70% growth of what it was in December of 2022. And the other correction here is, well, Camili and SBA USA were the two sites that were approved today. And in the upcoming activities, it's not 14, I'm not working with 14, I'm working with 19 different potential operators. And we have right now 7 sites at the National FTC Board that are just awaiting the approval, 7 applications that are in progress, and another 4 companies that are gathering their paperwork. We have one that has everything, but they just told us to put it on hold, Arellano Forwarding. Another one that's Transplace, it has been approved since 2022, but I don't think it's gonna ever be activated because it's already three years gone. And the company is not Transplace anymore, now it's Uber Freight, so that's probably gonna be changing. We're working with the city planning on updating the magnet sites, the maps, because they weren't, haven't been updated since 40 years ago, so that should be coming in the next month or so, something like that. And I'm also working on new texts and for the website and promotion and basically that. Last year's annual FTC report was had a lot of corrections. They've been making a lot of observations and things that they didn't do before. But we managed to fix all the 19 observations they gave us of already submitted reports by the operators. Then they sent them back and we gotta go through and fix a lot of them. And some were just tiny things like a ending value of 0.00 and starting value of 0.063 or transpose number. But anyway, that everything's fixed. Yeah. And I had the opportunity to present a seminar to UXPA members June 6th, and we had over 35 people there, and 5 attendees are interested in applying for the program. So, and now Alpha's next.
I was about to ask you.
Yeah,
Yes.
Alpha's
Good.
next. Once you come back from the conference.
When we come back from the conference.
Yeah, so basically that is it. We're working on 3 expansions and 1 deactivation.
All right, how about the potential changes up north on the BC about the manufacturing process? Any comments on that?
Yeah, there's a lot of interest from at least 3 local FTC operators, and we're waiting to see if there's gonna be any changes on the production authority, if they're gonna do something about it. But it is, when we have the monthly meetings with the grantees, that's something that's coming up almost everywhere. There's a lot of interest in production authority.
Taking into consideration all the volatility in the tariffs, have you been able to update any kind of commercial, what do you call it, guideline, not really guidelines, but the promotions that you had one time before, but I know there's a lot more. Are you gonna update that, or are you gonna provide any kind of, for the commercial and that you guys have promoting the FTZs?
Oh, well, it's part of what we're trying to do on the website and also with marketing.
Okay, moving
I
on.
think that's what we mentioned, right? Because we wanted to sort of, along with what you had mentioned on the FBO stuff, just kind of going back to the website too, but just to make sure that all that information's on there, especially like for I know Josh had mentioned this the last time, but that was another thing that I remember, and then the FTZ information, so obviously giving people whatever information, going back to JD's point, is that information about being able to do business here, and then any kind of applications or whatever process or steps I think can help. I think a good way to do that also is creating, just even if you could do it internally, creating YouTube videos or whatever, post them on YouTube, but then take that video and then house it on the website with steps on how to complete, these applications. I think could go a long way, basically like a tutorial video on how to do some of these things and how to.
Yeah, I have a step-by-step that I send everyone. And lastly, I'm also working on updating the agreement, but that's something that has to go through legal. So I'm just trying to update everything to the current situation.
I think it's a huge opportunity right now, like David said, considering everything that's happening, at least for the next three or 3.5 years, we'll be looking at that.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you. Wait on the status of construction for terminal rehab project. Hand it over to Assistant Director, Ms. Virginia.
So right now on the terminal rehabilitation projects, we are getting ready for phase 2, which is increasing the size of our checkpoint area and doing some other remodeling. And we're hoping that by August 1st, we have it to the contractor for pricing. We're waiting on some TSA to approve some changes that they had made. Then we're also waiting on the generator to get in, and that'll finish out phase. Once we get the generator, and it should be in November, and that'll finish out phase 1. Phase 2 is scheduled to take 16 to 18 months. We're hoping to maybe trim that down. But we have finished our escalators and we have finished the roof. Those are finished. And that's on that's
Was it working when you came in?
No.
They weren't ordered in. And so just so you know, when it's not working now, it's actually doing its job. Last time we found out there was a penny. So if you drop something and it gets into the escalator, it automatically stops. So that's what it's supposed to do. It stops so that it doesn't keep going through and then messes it all up. We are in the warranty period, so we have to have someone from Schindler come out and start it back and take out whatever is in there. But
We can reset it, but sometimes, like at that time that the penny was stuck in there, we cannot just go in
it
and
depends
make it
upon
work.
it depends upon the code that's there, that's flashing, as to if we can fix it or not.
Where's this company out of, the Schindler company?
They have people, local people here,
Yeah.
so it's actually really good. And it just happened to be on the long weekend and all the things combined.
And
so-
it just went out last night.
They don't
So-
provide an emergency number.
Well, we put a ticket in last night and they're supposed to be here today to fix it. So,
And how about the conveyor out there? I know it's working. It's been a while, it's been a month since I traveled, but
it's working.
it's working good.
Yeah, everything is new except the actual band that goes in there, but everything else is new. I mean, that doesn't mean this. Doesn't mean much nowadays, right? So,
Hopefully before it turns into a social media firestorm.
Oh,
then
yeah,
forget
I
it.
know.
Yeah.
Going back on the expansion, I know that a few years ago, where they were gonna move everything to the back end over there, and they're gonna do construction on that far end, on the north side. Is that still
No.
in plans, or has that sort of been scrapped?
That's been scrapped because we did not get the money from the FAA.
Okay.
And so they went to just a remodel of the current building and and that's pretty much the whole upstairs is going to be remodeled.
Wow, it's gonna be a huge expense.
Now, how about, I know that you were supposed to have a contract set up with, a company that was gonna come out here and provide some kind of beverages and meals. Is that still in the works, or?
Yeah, it's still in the works. We're having we're going
There's a
back and
national
forth with
company,
the,
yeah.
yeah, it's called Tailwind, so we're going back and forth with the contract with them.
Is that look like it's moving forward in a positive direction, or are we?
We
Grilled ham cheese.
we're we're on a stopping point right now, but hopefully we can sort that out sooner than later. Yeah.
Thank you.
I got something that I wanna, that's been on my mind for a couple of years already. Cause it kind of affected me. The position downstairs that used to be the Customs and Border Protection area, FIS, back around the corner, before the CBP terminal across the runways was built. What is the status of that large area?
We are using it for a ruse.
For international travel.
Okay,
That's,
that's the international terminal, if you would.
Yeah.
that's where customs, when they come back from Mexico, they go through that area.
And
It's
that
just
is passenger aircraft,
Passengers,
correct? Okay,
yes.
okay.
The passengers.
And cargo.
No, cargo doesn't come through.
Cargo goes to the other side.
The old cargo's on the other side.
Oh, I was thinking about.
By the police department.
No, this is downstairs.
Yeah.
And if we get any more international flights, they'll funnel through there. There's just, to answer your question, there is no one down there 24/7.
Okay.
It's just whenever it's coming an international flight.
I think we have a gold mine down there, but
Yeah.
let me get my feet wet first.
Yeah, no worries. Moving on construction for taxiways J1, J2, Virginia.
So, they're about 55% complete with taxiway, the addition of J1 and J2. They are working on the southern end on J2 right now. Hopefully, I'm not for sure how the rain last week affected it, but it's supposed to be, the runway is supposed to be back open by mid-October. I don't know, we have a meeting.
Mid-October?
Hopefully before that, but
They'll upload it here, cause here it tells us that it expires and it should be complete by August 29th.
yeah, well, they'll have to extend it because we've had some, we'll extend the NOTAM that it'll close. When it gets closer, we won't extend the NOTAM until closer to the end of August.
Yeah.
But yeah, so,
So we have to reschedule the runway race
Yeah.
because of that. We don't foresee it being finished until late,
mid-October.
mid-October. So if you're planning to run, you'll get more time to do better on your time. You'll finish under 30
We moved
minutes.
it to, I think we moved sometime in November is when
It'll be
that
cooler
was.
weather anyway.
But we're coming along, on that.
All right, well, moving on general staff comments, I think we have.
Victoria, I know that last time you put some homework on us, and we were supposed to read a manual and provide feedback or something like that.
They're gonna use Spark.
It's.
I did kind of give you spark notes.
So I believe those are the action items, so if you allow it, we'll just move to the action items, Sherman. So action items.
Discussion and possible action on beginning the process of reviewing the minimum standards and requirements for the conduct of commercial aeronautical services and activity at the Laredo International Airport and any other matters concerning thereto. If you go to the last page, there's like a little list. So the one that was approved first was from the 90s. It has only been updated like 2 times. And it really was just for the increasing of the fuel flow. So everything's pretty much new. So for me to do the spark notes would be for me to rewrite the whole thing again. So instead I just put the sections that changed. So a lot of it is addition. It's not so much that the rules are changing, we're just either expanding on it or adding it. So if you wanna go through them, like the first change, the general, update or the greetings are different. The sections, we've added a section of definitions. So before we only had like fixed based operator defined and like I think it was 1 or 2 definitions. Now we have a whole list of different things that describe what we're talking about, because a general user or like the people that are receiving this, or if somebody comes and does an open records request, and if I don't have the list of definitions, they're not gonna know what we're talking about. Like aviation, for me at least, since I got here, it's just been a world of acronyms, and it's a lot to remember what each thing means, so this helps. Minimum standards for all aviation providers has been included. So before, the minimum standards were really geared towards just having FBOs. This one has also added for anybody that's using their airfield. So as we discussed, I think several months ago, people that are gonna use it for the air show, they should be following our minimum standards. The people that, you know, anybody that uses it, if you're just flying in to get gas, they need to, you know, have their insurance, they need to be licensed, the plane has to be registered. If they're not, like right now, our rules don't say that, and so that's what we're including. I know it's like common sense, but it's different when it's written as opposed to like not being written, right? So, pre-qualification requirements has been updated as application procedures. So, in order to conduct business here, there's applications that people need to fill out. We're updating those forms. The approval procedures have been added, so now there's deadlines. So let's say back in the day, let's say you have a plane, Josh, and you bring it to us, Mr. Sanchez decides to take 10 months to review. He would never do that. But let's just say that he does, right? Now, make it top, that's it. No, but now there's deadlines. So from the minute you submit, we're gonna say we have 60 to 90, I can't remember the exact amount of time, but there's a standard procedure as to we have deadlines, so people don't have to be waiting to do business here, which is beneficial, I think, on both ends. The minimum standards for full service FBO has been added to replace general requirements. And that's because in the next one, we also added a section for SASO, or like the special aeronautical service operators. So now, you know, if we want to have like a mechanic people here, yes, like there's minimum requirements for that. We've also added, like, if people want to develop hangars or anything, there is specific sections on what exactly we're looking for. Minimum standards for aircraft use have been expanded and updated. So that's what I was talking about, like the insurance thing. It might have not been stated before, but now it is. Like, you need to be in real estate. We say you want like a clear title. Like, I feel like we should have clear airplanes. Like, everything should be okay in order for you to be here. Minimum standards for non-aeronautical service providers has been added, and so I want to say that's for people that might be conducting business on our airfield but are not necessarily flying on there. Or I don't remember exactly what that section is. I read this thing and it was like, right now our current document is probably like 20 pages, 20 to 30. This one's like 50 to 60. So it was a longer. I cannot exactly remember what that one says, but it has been added. And then we added 2 attachments. So now we're asking for them to provide us a business plan, and it guides the applicant through that process, which helps us when we're deciding if we're gonna do business with these people or not. Because right now it's not that it's just a formality. I feel like the airport needs more formalities. I think we work pretty formally. It's just that if all of us die one day and like the people that replace us, they're not gonna know how we did anything. And that's the whole point of having these procedures. It's just, if I get hit by a bus and Manuel steps in to take my place, like, he'll know exactly what to do because we have it written down. I hope that never happens. But yeah, and then attachment B is the schedule of minimum insurance. So right now, the current document still has it to 500,000 to like 1 million, and we've increased it. So the city at minimum, I think it's 1 million to 2 million for like almost every type of insurance you have. We are working now with our insurance providers to guide us with the excess aviation insurance, and they're guiding us as to how much insurance they should have. Because let's say somebody has like a general aviation user is gonna have a different insurance than like a commercial plane, right? Because they have more liability. So this kind of guides it, and it also allows us the opportunity to come back and amend it if the city ever decides to update. Because that's what we've noticed, that we get stuck. We never add clauses that said that, you know, the city of Laredo can come and update this policy or this term of the lease, you know, whenever we feel like it's just. we've been doing it now, cause every time somebody wants to do something new to their property on our leases, we are able to negotiate, well, if you wanna do this, we're gonna have to update this part of the insurance. Most of the time they don't give us issues, but it's just, again, for formality, and it allows for us to stay safe on our airfield. So, I don't have the copies with us right now, because I don't know if you guys would prefer it paper, or do you guys want it electronic?
Electronic.
Electronic, okay, so what we can do is, as you can see, we have 11 sections. There's different ways we can do it, so you guys can decide how you all want to do it. Do you guys wanna each say, I wanna look at these things, or do you wanna do like a workshop committee where we can come in, maybe like, there's different ways. I don't know how you guys wanna approach it.
How long would this workshop be?
I don't know, I've never done it before, so it's my first time too.
It's usually like 2 or 3 hours when we do it the AR.
I can ask Amber to help us through it too. I should have invited her to this meeting, and I'll start inviting her to these meetings. She's our city attorney. I want to say if it's 2 to 3 hours, we can start there. We can make like a subcommittee, or just dedicate the time for it. Make like a working committee for it. If you want, we can take action on that and say like the action would be for us to go and, find a way for a workshop. And then the next meeting we can provide guidance. Is that okay?
How many pages, you asked if we wanted it digitally or hard copy, how many pages are we talking about if it's hard copy? Just.
Let me get it.
Well, we can get you a hard copy.
I think they know hard copy.
No.
It's probably like
No,
60.
I'm just asking, cause I mean,
Yeah,
that's,
60. It's just like personally, I would prefer a hard copy because I'm a writer. So like if I write, I remember. If I type, I don't remember exactly what I'm doing. That's just the way my brain works. Everybody is different, so it's however you want to do it.
So you have it, you have it on both ways?
Yes.
We can get,
Yes.
And a lot of these things that we're just putting it in writing, we're already doing it, you already have it, like I'm sure you have insurance, you have license, you have everything. We just hold right.
What I don't like the wording minimum standards. I personally don't like, a standard is a standard regardless of, not minimum, and I'm being very frank with you. The reason I don't like that is,
This is the bare minimum, right?
my
Just to do this.
background is law enforcement and military. I'm retired from both those entities. And it was always, minimum standard in my language doesn't exist. It's a standard.
Yeah.
And you try to strive, you reach the minimum, but there's no such word, and you try to strive for more. And the reason I say is because when you brought up a very dear number right now, you said $1 million insurance. Well, I'm retired Customs and Border Protection, and we used to get buses coming in, and their requirement, not a minimum, their requirement was, I don't know if it still is, I retired almost 4 years ago, was $1 million insurance. And they better have it on them, or they should have it on them. And if they didn't, it was like, we go ahead and I hate to say it, but the bus would be, grounded or until they provided that copy of that $1 million insurance policy. That's just,
So, in the aviation world, that's what it,
That's just the name.
that's the name.
okay.
And even in the FAA, that they say, you should have minimum standards. Yes, we can require more, but that's, and it's
That's
just,
the language that the
That's-
FAA uses, okay?
and that's the language in the
I can
aviation
I can buy that.
world.
Yeah.
And it's and we keep it this way. I mean, we can change it, but we keep it this way because if you fly to Laredo, you're flying to Chicago, you're flying to Pittsburgh, you're flying everywhere. Everybody has minimum standards. So a pilot's gonna be. If you ask anybody at any airport, well, maybe not at any airport, but if you ask someone at an airport, they will know exactly what you're talking about.
Okay.
Yeah.
Didn't like that word.
And even though that they're minimum, they're pretty high. Like it's a minimum, but it's a
Yeah,
good
it's
minimum.
here.
Is it 2 million?
Yeah, I think it's 2 million.
Yeah.
All right, so, all right, well, moving on to number 2.
So number 2 is this. I did not give you the cliff notes for that one. So it's discussion and possible action on beginning the process of developing or adopting rules and regulations for the Laredo International Airport and any other matters incident thereto. Now, I didn't give you all cliff notes for this one because they don't exist. So there is no cliff, everything's new. Let's put it that way. Since it's a lot, do you guys want to, or would you all prefer to do one document at a time instead of doing two at once? Or what do you all prefer?
I'd say do both of them at one time.
Both of them at once?
So that we
Okay.
can all just come, do everything and leave.
So, would you all want me to ask Amber,
Our attorney.
our attorney, about the workshops? We can do two separate ones, or we can try to figure it out. Like, do you want me to do the same with
I
this
could do
item?
Morning
Tuesday.
portion and then afternoon portion.
Yeah, that'd be better, yeah, probably.
Can you guys take full days for? Yes.
I'm retired.
You're like, I'm about that. Because it's a lot of reading. It's a lot.
Available tomorrow.
Let's do it right now.
I'm counting the days that I can say that. Checking the calendar.
You took it about 40 years ago.
Now we're 10 now.
How about, I know that, you know, are we anticipating a full day event, or can we just do half day events, or like in the afternoons? That's, I mean, to me,
Yeah,
that's my free.
we'll plan it, we'll give you options, and we'll make sure
Yeah.
that, we'll get the most of you guys, so we'll.
And the most effective is, you know, just, like you say, cliff noted to a certain point where it's just a required element, not just, you know, the broad getting to the weeds, you know, so.
Is there overtime money for the employees?
I wish.
Yeah.
Talk to.
Customer school.
Don't get me started.
Waiting.
Straight on this.
Oh, wait, can we make a motion
Yeah,
to,
That's
to-
what I was-
directing us to do that?
Oh, yeah, but then, anybody's willing to make a motion or a coherent motion? What's the motion on?
The motion.
Motion is to, direct staff, to create a workshop.
I don't know about the.
Different options or options? for-
Yeah, for a workshop to work on the, standards and
Minimum
guidelines.
standards and, rules and regulations.
Yeah.
Second. Motion.
I can fit here.
That's easy.
We'll do that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition?
Wait, who motioned?
David.
And the second?
David seconds. Or the judge.
Yes, it was just one motion. It's one motion for both.
High school, so you call it.
Okay, moving along, request from Joshua Soto, status update on guidance for the airport gaining access to MLS property listings as a tool for marketing properties to Laredo realtors and non-realtors receiving commission. I know Sandra and Victoria worked on that with our real estate department, so I don't know if you all
How did
can
it go?
provide an update.
It went well? Okay, so we did talk to Amber, our attorney. Basically, so first of all, we've tried doing this. I know that this was discussed at the last meeting and I wasn't here for that conversation, but we've tried to gain access to MLS before. For us to gain MLS, we would have to have broker representation. That's what we were told by the Realtor Association, right? If you have a way with the realtors to have them amend their rules with their board to allow us to be like an affiliate to market there and not necessarily have broker representation, that would be great. I don't know how they would feel about that.
The way it works is, the way I was proposing was that since I'm a realtor and I'm on the board, it's to eliminate that, I'm just gonna list it pro bono. I can't get paid anything. Since I'm on the board here, I can't make any money.
Yeah.
But,
And I remember I saw notes saying that we would set it at like a 2%.
well, we still have to pay the realtor that's bringing the client.
I don't think we're allowed to set commissions like that through, I think that's a Texas law. I think that's TREC. TREC
No.
doesn't allow you to have a set percent. I mean, at least when I was
It's
a
not a,
realtor,
it's
it
not a
wasn't
set
a set
percentage.
percentage.
It's not a set percentage, it's just what we would offer compensation. So it could be any amount.
Yeah.
But it
But we
would-
know.
we would have a standard of anywhere from 1.5, you know, it just depends on how we
But
would
that will,
structure it.
that will be for the realtor bringing the actual.
Correct, so
But
so
the
so
thing is this, if they receive commission, they can also receive commission from their who they're representing, right?
they can.
Yes.
Yeah, and we can also offer no compensation.
Mhm.
So we can offer it and then like, let's just say, I'm buying it, right? And I want him to represent me,
Mhm.
right? But the city of Laredo is not allowing or paying commission, then I could pay for his services.
Yeah.
So that is what the whole lawsuit was going on with NAR and everybody else. So that's sort of what it is, but the idea is to advertise it. Right now, we have properties sitting that.
Have you
could
heard of
be listed.
LoopNet? Cause that's what we talked about with real estate.
Yeah, LoopNet, you're still gonna need representation, either from an
That's what we
attorney,
didn't know.
yeah, you're still gonna need representation from either a commercial agent or an attorney, which is still gonna cost you money.
What if it's a city attorney?
I don't know if they're allowed to do that.
Yeah.
So that'd be.
I'm sorry, I'm like asking you questions on
Yeah,
my
the whole,
head.
the whole point of this and the reason why I brought it is because I just want it advertised.
Yeah.
You know, and the thing is there may be realtors that are gonna ask, why is Josh representing, or why? Well, he's on the board here.
Well, I think
He's-
I think that might even look murkier. I think if
He's gonna
anything,
look, he's, you know, that's the
It's
thing.
the board.
Yeah, and the point is that we're not making money. I can't make money. So that's something that also would be transparent and, you know.
I don't know about, I don't think that we are allowed to do that just by bidding laws. So like, it's a professional service, but the way it works is like, if we're gonna have representation, I'm gonna have to put that out for bids. Everybody's gonna have the opportunity to bid on it.
And that's fine. Why don't we do that? The idea is to
We
not
have
it.
done it before, but we tried to do it as broker representation for all of our properties, but maybe if we do it as individual, that might give everybody a fair shot.
And we could put it in a, we could put everything in a
The
bucket
difficult
and
part
pull
of it is
five.
this, they ask for a lot of commission, and since most of our properties are leases, I mean, the bids that we got last time, what they were asking for was like, we would have gone broke. Like, it was outstanding, so,
There are people that want the property and they may call directly to me, who's making zero money, to just come and lease it.
Mhm.
So that's the thing, is that there's, like, because of these questions that we have, the city's not making money for years. And there's a lot of property. It's just making zero money.
Yeah,
We're
what's
making
the,
zero money.
what's the holdback? Is it the commission? Is it the representation? What
The
is,
process, I think,
what
right?
is the process?
well, it's not like, hey, Josh is on my board, I can just give him all my properties. That's not the way government works. Like, I have to bid them out. And so if we're gonna move forward, if the board decides, like with the recommendation on us trying to get broker representation, I wouldn't recommend we do it the way we did. I would say each property has its own representative. We work with different brokers because it was difficult. I mean, they were trying to charge us for meeting with them for marketing, and we know that realtors don't charge for that. I wouldn't charge for that when that was part of the commission.
Well, we're sort of cutting all that out.
Yeah.
That's the whole point of doing it like this, cause we're not gonna go through any of that. It's just gonna be listed.
Yeah, couldn't.
So you're not,
couldn't
what do you mean
LAR
it's just gonna be
list it?
listed?
Advertise.
I'm not making any money. Like, it's not gonna be anywhere where we're requiring anything. It's just, we're just gonna.
We just need to check with Amber to see if we can do it.
Yeah, I think this is a conversation that we need to have separately with Amber, because I think it got confused there when it was transmitted to the legal attorney, and that probably
So
got all
even
messed up,
if it's we get anybody that wants to apply to represent these properties, we can put it in a bucket, pull 5 out, and that's it. It could be wherever it is. It could be anybody. The idea and the whole point of this is to get it listed.
Yeah.
Because we have years of it sitting on the market.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
lost revenue on top of that, but the only thing I could see a potential conflict of interest, but, you know, because taking into consideration, we just give it to a board member, but if we open it up, like I said, whole buckets, it's just to say, yeah.
Yeah,
You're right,
what he's saying only is he'll help us advertise them, and from there, anyone can get
Because
it.
the thing is that the people are gonna be upset about me having it if I'm getting paid for it.
Yeah.
But when I'm not getting paid for it, I'm getting $0, and it'll say what my commission is 0, but whoever brings a client may request money. So let's just say Hector or Cindy or anybody else in the world that brings us a deal, they may ask, hey, 3% commission or 1 month's rent or whatever. That's something that you all have to decide on. But it wouldn't be something where there's an issue with, you
No,
know.
and I get what you're saying. I mean, I wouldn't have any issue, but then again, I'm not an attorney. So
Yeah,
that's why
yeah, I mean,
we need to
it's
sort it out
either-
with our legal department. I mean, I'm all for that, and I guess we can get on a later call and see.
So can we make a motion to, sort of finalize this, because I think we should list these properties and.
I think it needs.
I'm not against listing the properties, I just wanna make sure that they go through the right procedures. That's it.
100%.
Do we need to put it on the next month's meeting to as an action item?
What do you mean?
To meet with legal counsel.
Oh, is that the request or?
So we can finalize and we can, or one, I would make a motion, and if you're okay with it, because I know this is really your item, but I would say the motion is to meet with council to find the solution to get the properties listed on the MLS.
Yes.
Okay.
I second that.
Second,
What?
Delia, David first, Delia second, any kind of discussion, anybody all in favor?
Yes.
Aye.
I'm in favor.
I don't know.
Any opposition? So we make that motion, you got it down now?
I know, like, I have no say in anything. All I wanted to say was, I can bring this item back as like a status update, if you want me to. If that was a question that you're asking, we bring it back
Yeah,
as a status
well, we'll
update.
try to
Because
sort
it's not an
things,
action
sort
item.
things before that
We can't
meeting,
make a
hopefully by
motion.
the next meeting we'll already, hey, we're gonna do this and that and all that.
Yeah.
and then
Why
we'll
not?
work
Well,
on
there'll
that.
be an action item now that we
Yeah.
voted on it, so you guys can kind of move forward, so to say, you know what, we looked
Okay.
into legal, these are our options, we can come back with more information on this.
Yes,
That's what I would recommend.
okay, yeah, we'll do that.
And if I can meet with them or talk to them or see what we can do or how we can help, just let me know, and that way I can.
Yeah, all right, we'll do that. Next item is request from David Cash Martinez Vasquez, sorry. Status update on Air Service development efforts. So, we had a meeting on Indianapolis a couple of, well, weeks ago. I did meet with our current tenant, United American, and like I mentioned earlier, American did had a little concern about the numbers dropping from previous months. I said we explained everything, and as far as at the end of the meeting and everything went well. I mean, we're just keeping status quo for now. So on the effort of bringing another route or anything from the current airlines, which is American and United, it's not on the horizon anytime soon. And that's just the business model that they have. They just feed the hubs, and from the hubs you fly wherever you go. So even though it makes sense for us having a direct flight to Florida instead of going through Dallas and having those numbers there, I mean, their business model still I need to feed my hub for one reason or another. So I mean, we'll keep on trying, but it's not something that I see. I see that's gonna happen anytime soon. On the other hand, Allegiant, obviously they cancel our Los Angeles flight, but that's just because they're getting out of the LAX market because it's so expensive to fly over there. So the numbers were good for Allegiant for those couple of months that they did LAX here. So hopefully, they push their meeting to next year. So hopefully we can convince them there that there's the Laredo market will respond, and I mean, obviously our next shot is Florida, which will be Orlando or somewhere there that they have a base over there. So I'm confident that we can get another shot with Allegiant next summer. Also met with Breeze, which is kind of weird meeting. I mean, they just fly up there in New York and all those places. I mean, they have a small base here in Dallas, flying in Dallas, New York, and they just basically, I mean, they just took the meeting to see what's out there and if we have any money to offer, basically, because they're struggling right now. So with that, I mean, I don't foresee anything much from that. I also met with Delta. Delta didn't have. I mean, they're expanding in Texas. They don't. They didn't have Laredo up in on their top markets because of the size of the market. But obviously, they don't know much about Laredo, so obviously that's my job to bring up what Laredo is, the number one port, the cross border, and all the activity that we have. So I think we did caught the attention of the network manager. We were lucky enough, we met with the manager of the network, he was from Atlanta, so he's one of the top guys out there. So hopefully we can keep the conversation going. And I mean, he was very receptive. He didn't know anything about Laredo, so he was very impressed when I showed him. I mean, you can you can do all the trade that the other border cities do, and I mean, you would not even compare to what Laredo is doing on trade numbers. So I mean, yeah, they're expanding, and are they expanding this next few months? No, but I mean, the possibility is there to get a Delta flight to Austin. From that, there's another company called Southern Airlines, not Southwest, Southern, which they use a small Cessna Caravans that they're getting new aircrafts delivered in this month or the next month. So those guys, those are really interested in coming here to Laredo. But they want to build a network here in Laredo, so we're talking Laredo, Corpus, and Bronzeville, and they're trying to build a network here to go to Austin and San Antonio. So hopefully we're gonna have a meeting sometime next week. The guys are coming here, the guys from the Southern Airlines. I see good potential on that one. Small aircraft, I mean, probably 9 to 12 passengers.
How Southwest started.
That'll be full.
Little
That'll be full.
Dallas, Houston,
Laredo,
San Antonio.
will be full.
Yeah, Laredo, San Antonio, and Austin also.
That's right.
That'd be full.
And they're talking about 2-3 times a circuit here at stations, since they're getting new airplanes. Obviously, I mean, we haven't talked about numbers, but obviously it's gonna come down to how much can we put down to help them, because every single airline is gonna struggle for the first 1 or 2 years of operations. So you need to help them as much as you can. And
What does that
obviously
number
this is
look
gonna-
like, typically?
Half a million?
Half a mil to a mil.
I will say that with a big airline, with a big aircraft, I'm not too sure about this one. I mean, like for Airus, is for 8 months is about 290,000, I believe so. They're running the same operation as Airus, but obviously since it's an American airline, it'll probably be a little bit more expensive than that. But as we talk to the other airports, I mean, obviously the idea will be, I mean, joint efforts, and everybody's pulling on the same direction, and obviously giving some. But I mean, if you probably ask the airline, they'll probably tell you 1 million or 1.5 million.
You want more, so it's a give and take kind of situation.
Yeah,
negotiation.
I mean, they'll basically will look for you to pay for their whole operation during the first year or so. I mean,
Discretionary funding?
Well, that's the thing about it, with all these budget cuts, is that even an opportunity that we have, or because
well, obviously that's not gonna happen
within the year?
right now, right here. Obviously, if that happens, we'll probably be talking about it at the end of the year, of this year. So that will be a new fiscal year. So I mean,
we could
that
come to
might be
discussion
something,
about
but-
it first, more or less, or
but I'll let you know before, so that way you can talk to your respective council member and can vouch for us, because obviously I also think that will be a great product for us to offer.
How about JSX?
JSX, I have met with them, have not met them in quite a few years, but last time I met with them, they were basing their numbers out of the median income in Laredo, which is I believe now is 60,000. I don't know if that number is correct or not, but at that time was in the 40s or so, and they say that they're looking for something higher, right? When and even though I don't believe their prices are that expensive for the product they have. I mean, I'm pretty sure they'll be successful here with the people that fly to Vegas. I mean,
Because they're hiring a lot of pilots in San Antonio,
yeah.
and they're getting some planes there.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit of the higher end product, but I mean, it's not as expensive as you would think a private plane is, right? But it's a good product. I mean, I'll try to meet with them. I'm allowed to travel again once. But, whenever I have the chance, I'll try to meet with
Me with
those
Joseph,
guys.
and it'll be good.
Yeah.
I know I've said it before, but have we had any luck with, like, I remember the Cancun thing in the summertime, that was
Yeah.
huge, and then it just kind of.
I had
faded away years ago.
now that I remember, I need to send them an email now. Send email. Remember, I had a
get
meeting
it.
request from Viva. Viva is also looking to expand something next year on Q3, Q4, Viva Aerobus. And they were talking about flying Laredo IFA. And I know, well, I've never been to IFA, which is the new airport over there. I mean, I know people are not big fans of that airport. I don't know somebody from here. Have you been to IFA? How bad is it? I mean, the airport is good, they say, but
Just out of the way. It's the Uber back.
Yeah, it's
out there.
it's complicated.
complicated.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I heard. I mean,
Traffic is.
yeah, so they, I mean, I'm pretty sure the government is pushing the Mexican
Same.
Airlines to fly to
Yes.
fly into IFA. So obviously they're looking out their options to see what they can do. And I actually told them, I said, I know you're looking into IFA, but you can. And again, it comes down to the number, right? I say, well, give me a number to work with. And if you want to come to Laredo, you need something from us. Obviously, you do, because that's why you're talking to me. So just give me a number, and that way I can work with that number. And I say, well, within that number, throw a seasonal to Cancun if you can. And so I need to get back to them and see what number is. Either bring it back to you or just like that. They're on arrival maybe. But,
Hey, it's worth a
because
shot.
yes, they have a big aircraft for 180 passengers. So it's tough for them.
So the idea of Laredo to Cancun direct?
Well,
If-
their idea, their first initial thought is Laredo, Ciudad de Mexico, but to the IFA airport. And from that, I asked them to throw in the numbers, so do a seasonal to Cancun there. But I need to reach back to them to see if they come up with a number that they have in mind that they will ask us to support here. So, but I mean, it'll contingent to whatever we can do.
So on the I think one of the reasons why I brought this up was because also, so I know, just kind of going back to United, that conversation is being had to move their flight times around. Is that what's happening
On the
on the United side?
on the last flight, yeah, to make more connection, because basically you're flying out of Laredo to Houston, and basically if you're going elsewhere, that's it. I mean, you have to stay in Houston. I mean, you have no chances to connect anywhere. So by them moving the flight, I mean, they'll get more passengers, and people from here will be able to connect. Obviously, if you're going to Houston, well, I mean, that doesn't matter, right?
But still maintain the 3 flights on it.
Yeah. So, yeah, it came down to that. I mean, United has a smaller aircraft, and I mean, the numbers are doing good right now. So 50 passengers.
How about any like cargo, like making Laredo more of a cargo hub and just reaching out to those big cargo and having them stuff here?
Yeah, that's one of the goals that I have. Obviously, our main commodity here is automotive and electronic. Obviously, with the tariffs and all that, I mean, we see the impact right now in the numbers. So obviously, we need to diversify a lot more. I know I've been trying to get more into the flower market. You know, everything goes to, you know, it's a straight shot from Colombia to Miami. I mean, flight time probably is way more efficient and better than flying into Laredo or DFW, whatever. But flying into Miami is really expensive, and then from Miami, all the flowers go everywhere, right? So Texas buys a lot of flowers, I believe. So I mean, so probably there's
The marketplace are
yeah.
huge for like $100.
Yeah, if there's something that we can do there. I mean, we'll probably need a custom broker over there or something. I mean, it's something that I have this idea, but I need to explore a little
Yeah,
bit
because
more.
like, I mean, if we're not getting the deltas of the Southwest, I mean, if we just start hitting up cargo and, you know, piggyback off all the cargo.
Yeah, absolutely.
But in the air, the only thing is that it's the price that they gotta pay. They're really going ground and they're really going air because they can save a lot more money. And air is a more likely luxury transportation method and just in time. So that's why a lot of people go through a truck because it's a lot faster sometimes going through a truck, a couple of hours. Considering all the circumstances that are going on right now, but other than that, that's why they don't go with it.
Like DHL or any of the other ones.
Well, they do that, but then remember, that's customs, you know, an agricultural requirement, so that's a different process that goes on together. I think here they have to, they're not staffed by agriculture, they have to bring somebody from the bridge or something.
Yeah. So on that, I was talking to the consultant. I know he's coming in a couple of weeks to start getting more into that, but he said, well, I mean, when I mentioned the idea, he was like, oh, I mean, several airports have tried, several airports have failed, and try and get taking that piece, bite of the pie from Miami. Really.
Kind of like McAllen, those other guys trying to take a piece from us.
Oh, yeah. Yes, they are. So, yeah, you know, I agree with you. We need to, we just need to diversify and look more what more options are out there. So we're trying. We'll keep on trying.
I can mention something about Miami. Miami is grantee in 2 months opened 35 FTCs in the last 2 months.
More than anything else because of that IPA duties that are coming in place. So a lot of times they're trying to hold off because of the uncertainty that's going on right now with this administration. It's what they call them taco, just in case, you know, that goes on there also. They're just focusing on that information. So hopefully
Deadlines this
they,
week.
deadlines August 1st.
Oh,
They already shifted August 1st, so they're waiting on August 1st, see what happens. So hopefully they can store it in there and then withdraw whenever there's a certain change or adjustment. But I'm looking at the clocks, I think we've got time. So anybody have any additional comments that they'd like to make for future or is there
Or
anything else?
any other requests that you want us to
Question, yeah,
include for the next agenda?
All right, so we've already got our action items that we gotta work. You got your email, you're gonna send out as well to Cancun, so we gotta sit there and move forward with that. With that being said, many motions to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second? Second. Two, okay. All in favor, we go.